Welcome, ladies, and welcome to another Femininity Quickie. I'm Dr. Christina and your femininity coach from LA. I talk all things dating and sex for ambitious women, female entrepreneurs, and executives in their 40s. So if you are a successful woman, have created an incredible life, but have no man by your side, my series is exactly what you need to create everything and fulfilling and juicy life. If a quickie is not enough, you can book one-on-one coaching with me. The link is in the description of this episode. So let's talk dating today and how you can create a meaningful connection with a masculine man and a man who has like incredible potential. And what you actually do, you just have to be feminine. So what this means, let's say you meet someone or you met someone on an app or in real life, doesn't matter. You're not gonna take any actions. You just live your life and he's gonna create the connection. He's gonna reach out first. He's gonna, suggest dates. He's gonna plan the dates and he's gonna make sure that you will be there. So what this means for you, it's pretty easy. You're gonna observe. And if you like it, you just say yes. If no, you say no, right? It's just, you see what he's showing and you just make the choice. And I mean, that's pretty relaxing, right? And it feels pretty good. And he can show now what he has to offer, the way he communicates, what kind of dates he's gonna plan, how he, organizes everything. That's his task now. And you can also see that on the date itself, right? How he provides. And that's again another tip. Under no circumstances you're gonna touch a door or a chair, whether it's a car door or a restaurant door. You're not gonna touch it, right? Because you want to see him provide, right? And also under no circumstances you're gonna touch your credit card. Under no circumstances. There's not even a thought about, hey, should I touch my credit card? No, because he has to provide for that, right? And what is also great to figure out what you want is creating the communication you to have during the date and play out a little test. I don't want to use the word test because I don't like it. It's more like a natural communication you have and you show up or ask about 3 things that you would want to know if this is a deal breaker for you. So I can tell you what I'm doing. So for me, for example, number 1, most important thing for me is that we have the same humor. So what I will do during the conversation, I will tell a funny story. And then we will see if he thinks it's funny too or not, right? Number 2, and also very important to me, is to see if he's emotionally available. And how I test that is by sharing an emotional story. I mean, you guys know my burnout story, right? And you can read that everywhere in the online magazines and in the online world. But there's more to that, right? Like how I felt, how the things have changed, and how, I escaped to Bali, and all. There's a lot of emotions and a lot of things were happening. So I'm sharing this story and then I want to see how he reacts. So an emotionally a mature man would listen, right? And would ask me questions like, hey, how have you felt in that situation? Hey, what was happening then after that? Or how did you solve it? Or what did you do? What did you think? How was your journey? Because this is what you want, right? Because later on, picture that you entering a relationship with this man and then never picked up your initial story on the first date. Would be strange, right? So that's the second thing, emotional availability. And the third thing is I want to see if he is able to provide. When we talk about this, masculine men are natural providers and protectors, right? But yeah, I need to see that. How can he do that? And then I'm sharing something challenging. For example, I usually date entrepreneurs. So I would share at this point a story or a struggle I have with my business. And then let's see if he picks that up. Maybe he has a thought, maybe he has a contact, maybe he has an idea, or he takes actions. What you also can share at this part to see if he's a provider, a protector. Maybe you have an issue or a technical thing with your phone, or maybe you have, you know, something has happened at home. I don't know. Can be also something technical, or it can be something, you know, where you need a solution or a contact or something he could show up and take actions. That's something, you know, because then you know if he's ready to help, right? So these three things, like humor, emotional availability, and providing, these are for me like the deal breakers, right? If he shows something and he's interested. And you know why I'm doing this now in my dating life was because in the beginning I haven't done that. Sometimes we talked about emotional things, sometimes I shared something, and the guy was not picking that up, right? I even, at one point, I even shared like, hey, I had a meltdown in my Uber. And then the guy was responding like, hey, oh, nice juicy stuff. And I was like, I just told you I cried in an Uber and you have nothing to say about that. Or like even sometimes when I was really sick and I shared that and the guy was not picking that up or even responding like later than one day after I had like an urgent, not a real emergency, but I needed support, right? And he was not responding. And let's face the facts, ladies, in the world, in the modern world, everyone is on the phone. Everyone is checking. I don't know how many times I'm checking Instagram stories, right? I don't know how many times I check WhatsApp. And even, let's say I have a busy day and I have like sometimes appointments when I can't be on the phone. Maybe that's an hour or two, you know what I mean? But after that, I'm checking it again. So you don't have to tell me that you cannot react if you would want to. So that's, of course, side story, but you know what I mean. And there you can just pick 3 different things, whatever feels good for you, whatever you need to test. For example, I have a client, for her, like family is very important. She needs a man because her family is very important to her. She needs a man who has like a very stable and fulfilling family life, right? With his parents and stuff. So for her, that's one of the 3 questions. She talks about family and then she sees how this man reacts, right? Just to give you more examples. Yeah, feel free to spice up your next date and find out if he's really masculine and if he's providing the things that you have. Again, I cannot stretch on that enough. Your standards cannot be high enough. Be delusional. Be delusional, right? High. And then you will see if he's gonna meet that or not. And I can guarantee you, the more often you say no to the things that you don't want, the better things will show up because you make space, right? All right, ladies, I see you next week to the next femininity quickie.